I'm Debbie Godfrey. Welcome to the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. For today's pep talk, I just want to share a few success stories that parents have had recently. I know we all learn and can get ideas from what other parents have done successfully. So one dad was taking his kids down to Ventura, and they were getting into the car, and one kid called shotgun and the other one got upset. So immediately when they got into the car, the kids were already fighting, and the one in the back was yelling and the one in the front started hitting the one in the back, and dad was getting really upset and he was about to lose it. And he thought about all the times that he had threatened that he was going to turn around and take him home and hadn't done it. So he decided, instead of yelling at him, he was just going to pull over. So he did, got out of the car and was just kind of waiting there patiently. And finally the boy said, Dad, why aren't we going? Why did you stop? And he said, because the two of you were making too much noise and it wasn't safe for me to drive. And I need you to, behave appropriately in order to be able to drive you to Ventura safely. And they were just really quiet. And Dad got back in the car and they were fine the whole rest of the time. So that was really great for him to have that success story without losing it. And then another dad was having some issues with his son and his son's friend who was over, and they weren't coming to the dinner table. It was time for dinner and they were running around and they were being crazy. And finally he asked the son's friend, he got down on his level and he looked in his eyes and he said, "Could you please go sit at the table?" And the son's friend said yes, and he went and sat at the table. Well, his son's still running around, and Dad realized he had just had a talk with him the other day about the problems he was having with his son listening to him. And he said, a lot of times you don't listen to me. What can I do besides yelling at you to get you to listen? Because I really don't like it when I have to yell. And the son said, well, if you just say please, then I'll do it. So Dad, remembering this conversation they had recently had, went to his son and he said, "Could you please go sit at the dinner table?" And the son looked at him and said, yes. And he went to the table. And Dad was shocked. He really did follow through with his word. Another one that recently occurred was a mom had her friend and her friend's daughter over, and everybody was playing. And the girls were getting a little bit crazy with their bathing suits, and they were swinging them over their head, and they were getting silly and goofy. And Mom had told her daughter that when your friend goes, then we can watch a movie together. And so the friend was leaving, and then she was kind of getting out of control. The mom's daughter was getting out of control, and she got mad at her mom, and she came over and she hit her with the bathing suit. And Mom said, "Ow, that hurts." And she said, I'm not going to watch a movie with you now because that really hurt, and I just don't feel like hanging out and watching the movie with you now. And then her daughter just went ballistic. "I want to watch a movie. I want to watch a movie. You said we were going to watch a movie." And the mom in that moment realized if she kept fighting and arguing with her, she was going to get mad and start yelling, and it was going to be a big scene. So she decided to just respond really calmly and non-emotionally. So every time her daughter started screaming, she just said, "That really hurt me when you hit me with the bathing suit, and I'm not willing to lay down and watch a movie with you. And I'm sorry you're upset, and I'm sorry that you're having a problem with that." And then she'd scream again, "I want to watch a movie." And Mom would say, "I'm sorry you're really upset. It just really hurt when you hit me, and I'm just not willing to watch a movie with you now because I was hurt and I'm upset." And the daughter was screaming and crying, and finally Mom said, she goes, "Well, I will read you a story." So she went with her to her room, and she was still kind of whimpering and crying that she wanted to watch a movie, but she let Mom read her a story. And then Mom said that after she read her the story, she said she was sorry. Her daughter said she was sorry for hitting her. And so it was kind of a mess, but it turned out good. And Mom was really glad that she didn't yell and scream and lose it with her daughter. Have a great day and happy parenting. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Debbie Godfrey, owner and founder of positiveparenting.com. I hope you'll go and check out my website and follow me on Instagram and let me know about what you thought about today's episode. Did you learn something new? Were you able to do something different with your children? Did you have a success story? Those are my favorite to share. Let me know. Contact me. I'd love to hear from you. And also, what future topics would you be interested in hearing about on the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. Thank you so much for being here and for all of your support. Take care and happy parenting.